Okay, I have a flashing blue light and I have a team from Finland. A couple of quick things about this team, because I don't want to be unfair. I do want to introduce each of the teams. They go to the University of Technology in Turku, and if you can say that, you're a true Finn. And they have a passion for the rap artist Petri Nygård. I bet you didn't know I was going to say that. And with Signbook, can I introduce to you Team Finland?
Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, once said, "I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have it." That definitely fits our project, and we present to you Signbook. My name is Petteri, and myself, Kimmo, and Tomi have been our software developers, and Johannes is our graphics designer. Can you imagine how hard it is to learn sign language now?
Sign language is a language that uses visually transmitted sign patterns such as manual communication, body language and gestures. One sign can combine hand shapes, orientation and movement of the hands, arms or body and facial expressions. Just like in spoken languages, there is no universal language, so sign language differs between most countries. There are currently millions of people using sign language in Europe and America and even more worldwide. Despite the large user base, sign language remains one of the most difficult languages to learn. Almost 90% of all deaf people have parents that can hear. Still almost no one has understanding what it means to be deaf. Let's take a quiz. Ready? True or false? Deaf people live in a silent world. Having a deaf child is a tragedy. All deaf people would like to be cured. Sign language can be translated with the translation system. Answer to every statement is false. Now, let's take a look at few issues about learning sign language. First, let's think about writing it down for later use. How would you write down something like this? There is no established system of writing down sign language. Although some optional methods do exist, they are not very well suited for the lexicon of sign language. Then what about learning all the new signs? How would you study something like this? It's quite difficult to read and understand all the different markings. Not to mention the natural learning obstacles compared to language learning during childhood. Adults have more trouble in remembering all the signs. Where would you start looking for the signs you want to learn? Books? VHSs? Online video dictionaries would be the best way to go if they weren't closed and so constricted.
We were amazed to see how broad and influent this problem really is. So the question, of course, is, how do you make a solution for it? But the answer is actually quite simple. First of all, it needs to be easy to use, because most of our users are not technical at all. Also, it needs to be social, where the users are learning, commenting, evaluating the content. And this kind of community does not exist now. Lastly, it needs to be open, and not like a dictionary where there is one sign per word, but to also include variations of the signs. Make it an open platform that keeps getting bigger and changing all the time. And this will differentiate Signbook from anything that's out there now. We also made this field study where we asked some common questions about the problem and our solution. And these results come from the actual sign language interpreter students. And they are facing this problem every single day. And they sent a pretty clear signal. First of all, we asked them, are you happy with the current study methods? And we were shocked to find out that no one actually said yes. After showing our solution to them, we asked them, would Signbook ease the studying of sign language? And would you use it if it was available? And 98% of those people said yes. So from these results, it's kind of safe to say that our solution is working and the users will like it. When choosing our technologies, I would say we were kind of ambitious, and we went for the best and newest Microsoft has to offer. Signbook is going to be hosted on Windows Azure, and we are going to have a SQL database and a file storage there. The whole end-user side is made entirely with Silverlight 4. And with Silverlight, we are kind of forced into this three-tier architecture, and for that, we are using RIA services on the middle tier. We also have Open Data Protocol in our Azure, and what this does is it kind of translates our website into a web API, which we can then consume in a variety of different ways. And we have made, for example, Windows Phone 7 client and a Windows gadget, but there's no reason we couldn't add support to, for example, more mobile operating systems. Let's now spend some time to demonstrate the actual application. And Kimmo is going to help me do this. Are you ready, Kimmo? So by using Silverlight as our client user interface technology, we can do all kinds of user experience enhancements. And I think we have been really successful with this. And Signbook is really engaging and fun to use. And I think you will agree after this presentation. So if you just go ahead into the corner and log in, after logging in, we get access to our personal menu. And from here, you can find all the site's features and our friends. And we can immediately start chatting with our friends. And the chat is nice. You can drag and drop it anywhere you like. And if you make it bigger, you get this little nicer chat. And then you can just drop messages there. Simple. Because it might be sometimes exhausting to go up and down that menu all the time, we wanted to do something better. So we made this quick style navigation, and I think you will like it. And once you learn how to use this, this becomes a really fun and easy way to navigate around the page. And as far as we know, it's the first time this sort of game-like navigation has been used in a web application. If we go forward into our front page, we can see this interesting feature called requests. And what this does, that if I know that I'm going to need some signs, I can just go and publish a request here. Then someone else can come into this page and see your request and then just start adding them. The most used function will probably be the search. And as far as we can tell, this is the best search we have seen on the web page. It's auto-completing what you type, and we even provide these visual indicators, and this makes it really easy to find the signs you're looking for. If we go onward, we come to this search results page. In here we display all the basic information we have from the signs, but we are also able to preview the signs right from here. And this preview experience is far better than any other video site we know, like, for example, YouTube has to offer. If we go forward, we come to the actual sign page. In here, we display all the information we have from the signs. And we can also comment it if we have something we want to say about it or some suggestions. And it just works as you would suspect it to do. What we are also able to do here is to download these signs offline. But we will show more of this feature later on. Signbook can be used for learning purposes just fine as it is. But we wanted to do something more. So we came up with this idea of a centralized place used just for learning, and Kimmo is just adding a few of those animal signs there now. And we call this page Sign Room. And what this does is this sort of an augmented reality of the user practicing in front of a mirror. But in here, we can just take signs parallel with our own image. And we truly believe this feature will redefine the sign language learning altogether. And if we have signs that combine fast movement, we can actually even slow it down to see really what's happening in there. If we go forward, we just learned that. If you look at the statistics now, you can see that Kimmo has now learned 9 signs today. Watch what happens when he learns his 10th sign. So we have this concept of achievements, and this is well known from online video games. And what they do is they keep the users playing. And when we combine these achievements with statistics, I think we have really nailed the learning experience in Signbook. And in there, we are, for example, showing how many signs you have learned in time. Let's now pretend that we come to the Signbook for the first time, and we see that someone is requesting Poland. So let's go ahead and start adding it. And we wanted to make this adding process go as smoothly as possible, so we can have as much content as we want. So we made this interactive help that guides you through the process of adding signs. And that should help a lot. And once you're ready, you can just press the red button to start recording your signs. And then you just sign your signs, and once you're done, you press the button again, and then you can preview what you just did. But what if you don't want to use our webcam and we have the videos somewhere else already? Then we can use Silverlight 4's new feature and just drag the videos right into our web application. How simple is that? And when we are ready, we can start filling the information we have from the sign. And we even provide this nice user-friendly data validation so that the information is always going to be correct. And once you're ready, you can just publish your signs. So I mentioned the possibility to download these signs offline. And this would be a great feature, for example, sign language interpreters, when they are traveling without an internet connection. And for the presentation of this, we did something totally awesome. And we made a Silverlight implementation of the cover flow effect. And once you start to use it, you can immediately see how powerful this is. And if you combine this with a touchscreen PC, the experience gets even better. In Windows Azure, we are having OData protocol that offers this feed to our data. We can use this in a variety of different ways. And we have made a Windows gadget that displays all the latest signs right into your desktop. And if you're interested about them, you can just click them and view them in your web browser. Mobile using is, of course, really important for us. So we have made a Windows Phone 7 client with this panoramic design, and we can use this to, for example, search for signs. And this is using the same OData feed as the gadget does. And it's going to have all the most important features like commenting and chatting. We do have a lot of more cool stuff like sentence translations, but now let's continue with our presentation. And we have been gathering comments from our future users, and we thought that it would be great to show some of these to you now.